Long before roads cut through the forests and before metal roofs replaced thatch, there stood a village called Adwara, resting between rolling hills and a deep, whispering forest. Adwara was peaceful, but peace did not mean ease. The land was dry in some seasons, the harvest uncertain in others, and every family carried a quiet burden they did not speak of openly. At the edge of the forest stood something no one dared to touch. It was called the spirit tree. The tree was ancient, older than memory, older than names. Its roots rose above the soil like the backs of sleeping snakes, and its trunk was wide enough that 5 grown men could not wrap their arms around it together. Its leaves never fell, not even in the dry season, and its shadow was always cool, even at midday. The elders said the tree was alive in a way humans could never understand. And they all agreed on one thing. The spirit tree grants only one wish, and only once in a lifetime. No one knew who planted the tree. No one knew what spirit lived inside it. But everyone knew the rule. One wish, one chance, no taking it back. Because of this, the tree was feared more than it was loved. Children were warned not to play near it. Hunters avoided resting under its shade. Even the bravest men lowered their voices when they passed by. Yet everyone thought about it. In the quiet of the night, when hunger visited, when sickness refused to leave, when grief became too heavy, they wondered, what would I wish for? Among the people of Adwara lived a young woman named Omoni. Her name meant peace. But peace had not been kind to her. Omoni was an orphan. Both her parents had died during a long season of sickness when she was still a child. She lived with her grandmother, Naya, an old woman whose back bent like a bow from years of farming and carrying sorrow. They were poor but not bitter. Every morning, Omoni fetched water from the stream. Every afternoon, she helped in the fields. Every evening, she listened to her grandmother's stories by firelight. Naya had known hunger, war, and loss, and she feared the spirit tree more than anything else. Never go near it, she would say. Power always asks for a price. But Omoni was curious. Not greedy, not wicked, just curious. And curiosity is the first knock on danger's door. One evening, after a day of hard labor, Omoni walked past the forest edge as the sun dipped low. The air felt strange thick, almost breathing. Then she heard it. A sound. Not a voice. Not a whisper. A hum. Soft, slow, deep. It came from the direction of the spirit tree. Omoni stopped walking. Her heart pounded. The elders said the tree never called to anyone, and yet it felt like it was calling to her. She took one step forward, then another. The forest seemed to lean in. Birds fell silent, and there it was, the spirit tree. Up close, it was more beautiful and more terrifying than any story had described. Symbols were carved into its bark, but they shifted when she tried to focus on them. Its roots pulsed slowly, like veins. Omoni reached out. The ground trembled. A deep voice, not male, not female, rose from everywhere at once. Child of dust, do you know what stands before you? Omoni fell to her knees. I do, she whispered. You are the spirit tree. And why do you come? She hesitated. I only wanted to see if the stories were true. The tree was silent for a long moment. Then, leave. Curiosity is the seed of regret. And just like that, the forest released its breath. Omoni ran home. But the tree had already planted something inside her. Not long after that night, Adwara began to suffer. The rains failed. The river shrank. Crops withered before harvest. Then came sickness. Children coughed through the night. Elders grew weak. Hunger sat in every home. People began to whisper again about the spirit tree. Some said it was angry. Some said it was waiting. Some said it was punishment. The village council gathered. Arguments broke out. We should use the wish, one man shouted. No, another replied. What if we choose wrong? Wrong is watching our children starve. All eyes turned toward the forest, but no one stepped forward. Fear is powerful but desperation is stronger. Finally, a wealthy man named Orbazuri spoke. He owned the largest farmland. He had more grain than most families combined. Yet his heart was hollow. I will make the wish, he declared. The elders warned him. Think carefully. Only one wish exists. The tree remembers intentions. Orbazuri laughed. I wish for endless wealth. With wealth, the village will survive. But the truth lived beneath his words. He wished for power. That night, he walked to the spirit tree. The forest shook. The same deep voice spoke. State your wish. Orbazuri did not hesitate. I wish for endless wealth. The tree went silent. Then the ground split open. Gold spilled from the earth. Jewels rained like seeds. Orbazuri screamed with joy. But the voice returned. Your wish is granted. When Orbazuri returned to the village, people cheered. But by morning, the gold had turned to stone. His farmland was dust. His storehouses collapsed. And Orbazuri himself could not speak. He had lost his voice forever. The village understood. The spirit tree could not be tricked. The sickness worsened. Naya grew ill. Amani stayed by her grandmother's side, watching her breath grow shallow. One night, Naya grabbed her hand. Amani, she whispered, promise me something. What is it? Do not use the tree. Tears fell. But if it could save you. Naya shook her head weakly. Life taken by force leaves scars on the soul. That night, Naya passed away. Amani was alone. And grief finally pushed her to the forest. Amani stood before the spirit tree once more. I am ready, she said. Do you know the cost? Yes. Speak your wish. Amani closed her eyes. I wish not for wealth, not for power, not for long life. The forest leaned in. I wish for the village to learn wisdom to grow food, share fairly, heal together, and never depend on magic again. The tree trembled. For the first time, it laughed. A selfless wish. Light burst from the roots. Rain fell. The soil healed. Knowledge filled the minds of the people how to farm better, heal naturally, and live in balance. But Amani felt herself fading. This wish requires a guardian. She smiled. I understand. When the villagers arrived, the tree stood taller than ever, and at its base, a new root had formed, in the shape of a young woman. To this day, elders say the spirit tree still stands. It grants no more wishes, but on quiet nights, when the wind hums softly, they say Amani still watches over Adwara, and the people never forget.